Yeah, this guy's a great YouTuber. Like, I think he's like a little new to the scene, but every video he's put out has been insanely great at storytelling, and the production quality has been amazing. This is the prize. This prize could change your life forever, and I tried it, and I tried to win it. By Elijah Lemard. Let's jump in.
Of cardboard with the potential to change my life forever, because this box could contain one of the most valuable cards ever made. Something that has been valued in the millions.
But why?
What makes this piece of cardboard so valuable, and is buying a pack with a chance of winning a one-of-one card even legal? Well, to find out, we need to dive into what makes these so valuable in the first place, and how they might be connected to everybody's favorite topic, illegal lotteries.
Uh-oh. The near miss episode. The near miss. Okay.
Before we even get into this, I think I might be a masochist, but it's not my fault. Look in that cabinet behind me. Do you see it? This is my childhood copy of a Shonen Jump magazine I bought in 2005. On the cover of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the main reason for my current debilitating addiction to winning. And hey, this magazine is sick. It has some old Naruto chapters.
Yeah. Dang.
A blow-in card that lets you order
shooting exams is crazy.
Honestly, I'm still tempted to this day to mail that in just to see what happens. Anyway, Yu-Gi-Oh! Introduced me and millions of other kids to the wonderful world of collectibles, specifically card collectibles, which, if you don't know, is a massive industry. It may surprise some of you to learn that, according to this SkyQuest analysis, which measures only the sports card market,
39.53 billion.
Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! The sports card market alone is worth an estimated $10 billion and rising.
And you guys know I love Magic the Gathering, so like I'm already kind of interested in this.
Even if you
I can also relate to
card in your life, this story taps into something huge about how companies use psychology to keep us hooked, just like with video games, lottery tickets, and even online shopping. Now, that love I had for collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards as a kid eventually turned into Pokemon cards,
the audio
and
difference
eventually basketball. Which brings me to something that you guys need to know about me before we continue this video.
Okay.
I am a major NBA fan.
Okay.
I love basketball more than LeBron loves lying.
Damn.
Shout out all my tight ends out there, man. Beautiful thing, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson. That's just to name a few.
And don't get me
wrong,
definitely on this website.
Or maybe they made the website after LeBron said that.
Like Jimmy High Roller, Kenny Beecham, or small up-and-coming content creator Paul George. But I'd say I'm beyond the casual viewer. I've even done the half-court shot at the Moda Center and missed pretty horribly.
Elijah.
Ah. It is Elijah, okay.
Went with the shot put technique.
But look, if I can tell you advanced stats about CJ Ellaby and his beautiful hair, I would say that I at least have some level of NBA knowledge. But why does that matter at all? Well, because of the 2024 Olympics. And if you're not a big NBA person, don't worry, this video is not only about the NBA, but let me explain to you why the 2024 Olympics was so significant for NBA fans.
Okay.
Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Kevin Durant,
they're all on the same
team for the first time in their careers. This is extremely significant in the NBA world. I mean, LeBron is a consensus top 1 or 2 player in the history of the NBA. Steph Curry is unarguably, undoubtedly the best three-point shooter to ever pick up a basketball. And Kevin Durant, well, he has some of the best tweets of all time. I'm watching History Channel in the club, and I'm wondering, how do those people know what's going on the sun? Ain't nobody ever been there. Oh, and he's also league MVP and 2-time finals MVP, but the tweets are more significant. These three have been a staple of the NBA for the last decade, and in LeBron's case, the last eon. So for NBA fans to be able to watch these three guys compete on the same team and win a gold medal felt like the perfect finale for what is likely their last Olympics. A beautiful send-off story that has been so integral to the lives of millions of people. A send-off that will be remembered for so many iconic reasons. Steph's instant classic Golden Dagger.
Ooh, the Golden Dagger's crazy.
LeBron carrying the weight of Team USA on his back despite being a founder of the game of basketball. Oh, and my personal favorite reason, degenerate gambling for a card signed by all three of these legends after they won the gold in the Olympics. A card that will undoubtedly become one of the most valuable cards ever printed. A card that I am certain is worth millions. But here's the thing, the card market didn't always look like this. In fact, this is a pretty recent phenomenon where cards like this would be worth millions of dollars. The company behind this insanely valuable one-of-one Olympic card is actually the same company responsible for the first boom in the card market
Topps.
in the US. Topps is a company originally founded in 1938 under its original name, Topps Chewing Gum Incorporated, with its flagship product being Bazooka Bubblegum.
Oh, and they used to sell, like, they used to have card games in the gum, right?
Though, is where we begin our journey. Because Topps began to introduce collectible baseball cards as a way to boost bubblegum sales.
Yeah.
It proved to be pretty successful, but the real boom didn't happen until a year later when Cy Burger, fire name, by the way,
crazy.
designed
Yeah,
what
I was
would
like,
become
crazy
one of
name,
the
dude.
most valuable cards ever printed. The Mickey Mantle rookie card, a card that sold for $12 million in 2022. Which, on that quick side note, I can't imagine making $12 million and then just being like, you know what? Baseball card. Actually, low-key, maybe I would. Because I get it. As a kid, it felt crazy throwing down my holographic Blue Eyes White Dragon to flex on some second graders.
No, but you gotta understand though, like if you buy a $12 million card, it's because you have $12 million to like spend, which is crazy. It's crazy, bro. Because like if you have $12 million to spend comfortably, you have maybe like 100x that $12 million, which is unfathomable money for me right now.
At Rush is why I'm still buying cards today. The chance to open up my little book and be like, actually, only 10 of these have ever been printed, so it's pretty extraordinary. Actually, but don't get me wrong, I love it. And I cover those psychological reasons why people love things like loot boxes and gachapon in this video, where I go to Japan to play.
That was a really
pachinko.
good
If you
video.
haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching it after this.
That was a
But
great
in
video.
short, psychologists have studied the addictive nature of chance-based rewards. Opening packs triggers the dopamine response in our brains that's similar to slot machines or scratch-off tickets, which according to this study about dopamine replacement therapy, dopamine has been a prime candidate for investigation of neurochemical abnormalities in pathological gamblers. Given its established roles in both drug addiction and rewarded behavior, it's the randomness of the reward that keeps us coming back. And I believe the same is true for trading card opening, which, as I mentioned, has been somewhat popular since the 1950s, but has boomed twice in recent history. The first boom was in
Okay, also, I don't mean to pause again, chat, but this is also crazy because after we're done with Supermarket Simulator, the next game we're gonna play on stream is TCG Card Simulator. Like, we're gonna open our own trading card game shop and play that on stream. So this is like a perfect video to like go into that game. We're not close to being done with Supermarket Simulator, but this is a great like video to watch to get us warmed up and ready for that game, because that game looks so fun. I'm very excited.
In the 90s with the introduction of TCG, or trading card games.
Why you been in this car like that?
Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and eventually Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was at a needed time because the sports card market itself was on a downward trajectory. These TCGs introduced an entire new level to collecting: playability.
Yeah.
Pokemon trading card game. All the creatures, all the battles.
This allowed collectors to
that
not
Australian
only flex
guy?
how rare their cards were, but also, in some cases, get strategic advantages in the games that they love. This added some value to what was already a highly valuable market. A market that exploded in 2020, in part due to that pesky global health crisis.
Yeah.
Suddenly, people were stuck inside pretending to care about animals for 2 months because they saw Tiger King and getting really lived up and existential because of Bo Burnham, but they were also reminiscing on the good old days, digging up their old hobbies, cards, games, and collectibles. Some of you were impersonating Kaiba selling off Gramps cards. I can't blame you. Game is game, but like, bro. What's crazy about this time period is that the market grew by 142%
Ooh, that Black Lotus
in
right there.
2020 alone, according to eBay's report.
Damn,
if you're
that's
chronically
crazy.
online like me, I'm sure that you remember in 2020 and 2021 seeing all of these YouTubers, celebrities, and streamers like Ludwig, Moist Critical, Logan Paul spending.
Dude, I remember. Okay, so like, all right, chat. I remember like sitting in my old apartment during COVID and like watching Mizkif like open like these extremely expensive like Pokemon boxes, bro. And I'm just sitting there just like, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It was so much hype. I remember he had this like Asian guy on his stream, and like he brought him on, and like there was such a huge Pokemon card boom during like COVID time, like during lockdown. And I have not seen that Asian guy since. I thought he was gonna have like a big career and stuff like that, but I feel like it really fell off watchability wise, but I feel like the community is just still there. So maybe the guy just didn't have like the personality to carry it, but I don't know. But I definitely remember during that time like watching those videos.
Tens of thousands of dollars on Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic cards. Some of them just did it for the clip, while others did it because of potentially a horribly debilitating addiction.
They say the happiest
critical.
moment of a person's life is witnessing the birth of their first child. Now, I haven't had my first child yet. That DNA's still spinning around in my sack somewhere. But I can confidently say that it's a load of horseradish. There's an estimated 250 babies born every minute. That thing happens all the time. You know what doesn't happen all the time? Opening Magic the Gathering Fallout cards.
But in part, due to
very
the public
true.
purchasing at
Very
the time,
real,
people
very
couldn't
true.
really do much else. Trading cards became yet another form of speculative investment, similar to cryptocurrency. People were no longer just collecting for fun. They're buying and holding, hoping that one day the market value will skyrocket again. A little bit like Aiden from the yard, who...
What's the knife I bought? Well, where's the price on it? Factory new 20,000, and then minimal wear it's 15K.
Oh, well, I bought mine for 14.
You bought it?
Yeah, the Jetta. I
And
sold
you
my
used
car.
the money for this?
Yeah.
But for trading cards, I
That man sold his Jetta and bought that knife as an investment. That's crazy, bro. What if you like miss the game? What if you like miss the day the game shuts down? Then all that money's just gone, bro.
think it's a lot.
Like he could get the 6K. Like he could make a 6K profit off that knife right now.
Easier to become obsessive. I think the reason for this is a concept well highlighted in this article from Cambridge. Dr. Luke Clark calls this the illusion of control. Near misses occur when the outcome is close to the jackpot, but there is no actual win. Near misses are common in many forms of gambling, such as when your chosen horse finishes in second place at a horse race. A moderate frequency of near misses encourages prolonged gambling,
That's true.
even in student volunteers who did not gamble on a regular basis. And part of the problem here is every single pack you open where you don't get the clearly extremely valuable card is a near miss, especially because you don't really know the true value of these cards without grading them. Oh, right. Okay, almost forgot about grading. Take a look at this card. It's a graded Zion Williamson rookie card. Unfortunately for me, it graded as a 6, which means the quality just wasn't super high. I'm probably gonna make some collectors mad here, but grading at its core is essentially just a way for collectors to compare and contrast their cards and flex which one is
Obviously,
better.
like American
And it makes
Psycho.
the whole card opening process stressful because at the end of the day, you don't know if you're holding a piece of firewood or your entire college tuition.
That's true. Like, okay, so I opened some magic packs like the other day. I opened some collectors. I actually opened them on stream. Actually, I did like a short like random Friday stream where I opened some Magic the Gathering packs, and I pulled like a Billy, which is like a pretty good card. The card is like worth like $50. It was like a foil. It's like a foil Billy, right? The thing is that thing was so warped when I pulled it out the pack, and I there was nothing I could have done to have prevented that, because that's how it came out of the pack, because of the way that the packs were stored. And so like if I sent that in, it would probably get graded around the same as his like his rookie card that he just presented, because that's just how it came out the pack. And unfortunately for me, there's like literally nothing I could have done to change that. You know what I mean?
Because in the process of grading a card's charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, they look for a few specific categories: centering, corners, edges, and
Jigglypuff.
And depending on how perfect all of those categories are, the card is graded on a scale of 1 all the way to 10. This determines a card's market value, sort of like how a car or a house will vary in value depending on its condition. And there's a few companies that are reputable who do this kind of grading: PSA, Beckett, SGC, and CGC. And in a way,
But I don't even know, like, I know one of the companies kind of got exposed for like faking gradings during lockdown, and so like I know a lot of the grading now is not looked at as reliable as it once was.
this grading process kind of reinforces the idea of the near miss in gambling psychology. Like, just for a quick example of why grading matters, let's take a look at Charizard. A first edition holographic Charizard that's graded anywhere from a 1 to a 5 can be bought from the range of $100 to $600. Well, what if you had a Charizard card that was rated at a PSA 9? Well, then it's worth around $25,000. And what if it was perfect, a PSA 10?
100K.
Well, then you have a piece of cardboard worth well over $200,000.
Damn, I said 100K.
Which I know
Damn.
you know is wild, especially because a lot of these investors who buy these cards are never going to sell them.
Yeah, they're
So
never
that's why
gonna sell them,
girlfriend
bro.
Not only has an economics degree, but also is the proud owner of a signed trading card of her favorite economist, to give a little bit more context to that phenomenon.
Econ 101 time.
Hey.
So for this example, we are not going to be operating under the original economic assumption that humans are rational, because truly I don't agree with that, and I prefer to operate under the framework of behavioral economics. So for a use case, I'll use myself with this Robert Solow card. that I bought back in 2018.
Wow, she really does
for
have a
$10
signed
on
card of
eBay,
her all
free
favorite
shipping.
economics.
He's
That's
my
crazy.
favorite Nobel Prize winning economist, and this card, since he has unfortunately passed away, is now worth $100 instead of $10.
Gotcha.
So rationally I would sell it and I would get a $90 gain. So why am I still holding this right now? Well, the answer to that is in prospect theory. So prospect theory is from one of my other favorite economists, Daniel Kahneman. It basically means that people make decisions based on their perceived gains and losses, not the actual outcome. So in this case, that has to do with some loss aversion. If I were to sell this card for $100 on eBay, that wouldn't feel like I was actually gaining $90.
Yeah, because you could just get $100
This is
bucks.
because of my emotional attachment due
Yeah.
to the endowment effect, that since I own this, I don't perceive its value in a rational way. I feel like it's more valuable because I bought it and I've had it for a while and it's my favorite economist. Whereas someone like Elijah, who just heard of this guy today, would not have that same perceived value. People tend to focus more on the emotional loss than the gain. So an equivalent loss you feel about twice as much as an equivalent gain.
Damn, that's true though. That's honestly true. Cause like, if I have something like, for example, right, like I got some Zins, right, or something like that, right. If I lose like my Zins, even though they're like $8 or something like that, right, it feels like I've lost a lot more. One, because I'm addicted. Two, because like I think about like what I could have done with those Zins, and so it's like you lose more than just the $8 that it's actually worth. So like she's talking about how she could just get $100 for a card she spent $10 on. Rationally, yes, you would get $90, but like that's her favorite economist. He's no longer alive, and they're probably not gonna make the card anymore. You know, so like what she's actually losing is a lot more. Tell me why I've learned more about economy in this like what 30-second, like 2-minute clip of her talking about it than I've ever learned in my whole life. That's crazy.
It also has to do with reference dependence. So my reference point 2 days ago was that this card was worth $10 plus my emotional attachment to it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, 2 days later, now that I know
money,
it goes
is this
to
economy?
$100,
Is this economics?
my reference point is now $100 plus my emotional attachment to it.
Yeah.
So if I were to sell it, the loss would feel greater today than it would have 2 days ago.
Okay, so let's fast forward to today.
But if it was
Topps, who
100K,
is owned
he'd
by
be alright,
Fanatics,
you know?
is getting access to licensing that was exclusively owned by Panini, another trading card
Panini?
company, for years. So a significant card release this year is kind of a giant marketing play to get people to be interested in Topps again. And the card that I'm talking about is an unlicensed, one-of-one Olympic basketball card with Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant that is signed by all three. It
That's
took
crazy.
minutes for the shop owners on TikTok to start posting bounties after it was announced.
Topps now ran 588,000 of these, and only one, well, one of one, is going to be this card. Wow Sports Cards is giving a $200,000 bounty.
Jeez Louise,
for
of course he
this
has a Trump
triple
hat.
auto
That's crazy.
card. On top of that, they're offering a round of golf at Trump National Golf Course with Lawrence Taylor.
Giannis put a $1 million bounty on this card. We've had Sports Card Collector put a bounty on this card and then up his bounty when people said it was too small. And this guy's got a whole room of collectibles for the USA men's gold Olympic basketball team.
You know, this happened with Magic the Gathering. So recently, like earlier this year, Magic the Gathering did a collaboration with Lord of the Rings, and there was a serialized one-of-one The Ring card, and people were putting like crazy bounties on that. I think like Post Malone put like a $1 million bounty on the card before it was even released. So of course there were so many people like releasing counterfeits and stuff like that. It's crazy. So I know it's even crazier for people who are in sports, because a lot of like obviously like a lot of people that are really high in TCG collectors, they have a lot of money. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just how it goes, right? Even people like Post Malone and big celebrities now are like getting into like nerdier TCGs, but like sports card TCGs, which is just as nerdy, to be honest. They're ran by people who also have a shit ton of money. So, or they're not ran by, but they're like the top whales of TCG players and I guess sports TCGs. I guess it's not even a trading card game. It's just like a TC, like a trading card. They have a lot of money too.
Up by a $300,000 bounty by a hobby shop in Tennessee called Grand Slam Collectibles, who have now increased the bounty again to $500,000.
And to have a chance at winning this card, you would have had to have purchased the base version for $11.99
Oh,
between
shit.
August 10th and August 13th. And yeah, you heard me right. You don't even get a pack of cards for that $11.99 price. You just get this one single promotional card from Topps. And I bought 10 of them. What?
Nice.
Yeah, what? I know. I critique it. That doesn't mean I don't partake in it.
True.
I do encourage you to stay tuned for the video because I will be opening my 10 cards and seeing if they, in fact, changed my life. But before we get into that, we do need to talk about another promotion that became pretty viral around the same time frame on YouTube.
It would be so crazy if he actually pulled it in this video. I honestly wish he would, because like I said, he's like a great content creator. Honestly, this guy's a really good content creator in my opinion, and that would be amazing to like see him open it. But the chances of that happening, pretty low, right?
Controversy on YouTube? What? Yeah, I can't believe it either. Controversy surrounding a YouTuber. Who'd have thought? Well, specifically controversy surrounding the platform's biggest creator, Mr. Beast. Sorry, I thought I heard a drone flying outside. Now listen, I'm not a drama channel and I don't know the details or the extent to which the allegations against him are true or if they're not, and I really would prefer to not get drone striked by the Beast team, so I'm gonna keep this somewhat brief. Essentially what happened is that during a stream, Mr. Beast and his team allegedly ran a giveaway where if you purchased a t-shirt or a chocolate bar or whatever, you'd be entered into a drawing usually related to large cash prizes, which if you didn't know is illegal. You can't do that. But call me ignorant, because when that news broke, I was a bit confused over the controversy. After all, I, as well as many others probably, have been buying things for years with the chance to win something bigger. And now all these YouTube lawyers are telling me that that's illegal? I mean, how is ordering 10 cards from Topps with the hopes of pulling out the big one any different than buying a t-shirt to get a cash prize on the Mr. Beast stream? Well, according to the Federal Trade Commission, an illegal lottery usually consists of 3 key elements. 1, a prize or a reward. 2, the element of chance, where winner is determined by random draw. And 3, consideration, which usually means money, but can also equate to time or an amount of effort spent on something. And if all 3 of these are present, well, that means you probably have a lottery on your hands. And in the case of YouTubers, usually an illegal one, because getting the necessary licenses to run a lottery is borderline impossible. So what makes Topps different? To me, this sounds exactly like what the Beast team did, but on a larger scale. But it's just not that simple. Let's look at those key factors a little bit more closely through the lens of Topps. Number 1, prize. Well, that special 1-of-1 card is obviously the prize that you're trying to get, but there's actually a variety of prizes ranging from pearl to gold tier depending on their rarity. Number 2, chance. This is supposedly a random draw, so that's there. And 3, consideration, where a participant has to give up something of value, and these cards cost $11.99, so that's money. So case closed, right? Well, not exactly, because see, there's actually a very common loophole that most companies use when dealing with these kinds of prizes. Sweepstakes. Because see, when Mr. Beast ran his alleged merch giveaway, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the ethics and the legality of what separates a sweepstakes from an illegal lottery. And the truth is, the line is often blurred, with companies like Topps and many others walking a pretty fine line when it comes to these kind of promotions. Because the one major difference between a sweepstakes and an illegal lottery tends to be free entry. And while looking at the Topps website, it looks like you'd have to purchase one of these cards for $11.99 in order to enter this giveaway, but that's not actually the case. The posting of this card features both in the title and images that 1-of-1 signed card we talked about. They make it extremely known that one of the main pulls of purchasing this commemorative card is the chance to get that special 1-of-1. And if you scroll down to the overview, again, it's telling you to look for the
ultra rare redeemable for a triple on a card autograph. Yeah,
it seems like you do have to buy it, right? Well, no, because if you open the tab titled description, there's not much of a description of the card, but there is a little section that says no purchase necessary. Many will enter, few will win, with a hyperlink on the word here that brings you to the official rules. And these rules let me know that I could have just mailed in an envelope requesting a single entry instead of buying 10 of these.
That's crazy, but of course they're not gonna put that up front. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna put up front. They're gonna put up, oh, if you buy this, you get an entry. But of course they have to. They honestly just have to put that, I guess, just to save their asses. Because if they didn't, then like it would be an illegal lottery, right? But of course they're not gonna put this up front. They're gonna hide it in like a description drop down menu, so people would just buy the cards for $11.99, which is crazy.
For $11.99. And technically speaking, that makes Topps a sweepstakes. And because you are technically buying a limited edition card that does have value, with a chance of getting a bonus, it qualifies as a promotion.
Gotcha.
But as I discussed in my video about getting a free vacation from a timeshare company, legal does not always mean ethical. And
yeah,
here's
true.
Why I say that. The trading card industry at its core is based on
shit. Honestly, like a lot of YouTubers learn that shit too. Just because it's legal don't mean it's ethical. You feel me? Just because you're with an 18-year-old girl and she's technically legal, and you're like fucking 65. That shit not ethical, my guy.
And you remember earlier when I said that these collectible
Pretty
cards
disgusting,
become something of an investment in people's eyes? Well, that's kind of the problem. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here on some high horse saying that we should ban trading cards. I mean, I'm a collector after all. What I do care about is being a mindful consumer and understanding that your innocent collection of cards is byproduct of a predatory business practice. So let's talk a little bit more about value and the idea of an investment, or maybe we should just call it what it is in this case, gambling. According to Pathological Choice, the neuroscience of gambling and gambling addiction, the attractiveness of a gamble often stems from our brain's overestimation of the likeliness of rare outcomes. Pulling a one-of-one card. The same neurological pathways open up when we gamble, whether we're at a casino.
Yeah, true, because we can't really fathom like how little of a chance we have to actually get that card. The same way you can't really fathom the chance of you actually like winning that lottery. We definitely overestimate like our ability. I feel like that's like a human thing. We overestimate a lot of things, you know?
Trading card packs or rolling loot boxes in a video game.
Dude, I love round one.
The little thrill that we get, as discussed earlier, is dopamine that's exacerbated by that near-miss concept. Like recently, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go with my girlfriend, and I've caught 3 times more Pokemon than her, but she's caught 3 times more shinies than me. Make it make sense. Sorry, it drives me insane, but I'm catching everything I see in part due to that near-miss concept and the idea that
I don't think I have any shinies in Pokemon Go, actually.
Pokemon could be a shiny one. Because this entire industry at its core is promoting gambling-like behavior in order to run promotions on its other products, which is how the card industry started in the first place.
That's true.
It went from promoting bubblegum to promoting entire franchises. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, your favorite sports league, all of it. It's all tapping into that same psychological rush you get from gambling. Which has to be a little bit weird when you think about it. I mean, billions of dollars invested to bid for a company's rarest promotional material, which is just being used to bring awareness to its other revenue streams.
Yeah, that's how it works though. It's like action figures. You know, a lot of action figures. When I was a kid, I didn't really realize that action figures were just made to promote TV shows. If you guys don't know this already, like Transformers, the TV show, like the cartoon, was made to just promote the toys. So it's like they made the toys first, and then they made the TV show, and so they've used that formula like forever, bro. Like Batman the Animated Series when I was a kid, Power Rangers when I was a kid, Ben 10 when I was a kid. All these toys were just made to help promote the show and like get more revenue to it.
And to me, it's not just the randomness. Or
sorry, and also one more time, one more pause. And also, a lot of those shows that we like, some of them were canceled because they didn't bring in sales on like action figure sales, which is insane.
Potential addictive qualities that makes this troubling. But the way that these experiences
I'm taking these glasses off. It's gonna hurt in the back
IP.
of my ear.
Again, like Pokemon, basketball, Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'll put them back on when we play
Not
Super Mario
everyone
Simulator
buys
after
these
this
cards
video.
just as a chance for a rare item. A lot of people buy these for what they represent. The people, the worlds, the creatures. And that was part of the issue with the Mr. Beast controversy as well. A lot of the value held within these items is not just the rarity, but the emotional investment that people have in the franchises themselves. Companies have mastered tapping into that psychological dopamine hit, knowing that collectors are constantly chasing rare pulls and target cards. Where this becomes predatory, though, is where it's not just adult collectors, but IPs beloved by children and young adults.
Yeah.
People who might not fully understand why they love opening those packs so much. Combine that with social pressures, online flexing culture, and emotional attachment to the IPs, and you've got the perfect storm for addiction-based consumerism. I can't even begin to fathom how much money the Pokemon company has made off of this.
Jesus
I really
Christ,
think that's a big reason for the market boom of 2020. It's nostalgia mixed with FOMO and IP. Like when we talked about the value of TCG being affected by playability, you can very often see emotional responses in the market depending on how certain cards do at tournaments, with cards either skyrocketing because they won or plummeting because they lost. I mean,
honestly, that's a great point, because if you guys don't know, there was a, let me see if I can show it to you guys. Let me see, TCG player. There's a card that just got banned in Commander. It's Mana Crypt. There's a card that just got banned in Commander, and I know the price has like plummeted because of it, right? It's still like an $80-$90 card, but the card itself, and maybe like it still hasn't caught, but look at this graph. Look at this graph. Look at this graph. You see how it just dropped? This is like, this drop down here is when the ban happened, right? And we're only gonna see it drop even more, which is crazy. Dang, that plummeted. Yes, and the ban just happened like 2 days ago, so we're only gonna see this, like, this card drop even more. We're even already seeing, like, you know, market people selling it for 99. It used to be like 120, almost a $200 card, and now we're seeing it, like, the price plummeting. So yeah, that's a good good statement from him.
Bring that boom in to today, things got so bad
Elijah.
that places like Target had to put a limit on the amount of cards that you could order as an individual person. Partially because they wanted to limit the ability of whales to just purchase the entire stock of the new card and resell it at ridiculous margins in private shops. Because that's how intense the
resellers suck.
has become. Kind of like me at the grocery store when I realize I've run out of the sweet, sweet peanut butter. Well, PSA, it's not just card manufacturers like Topps or the Pokemon Company. Like I just mentioned, local card shops play a pretty significant role too, because they will charge steep premiums on cards that you could have just purchased yourself if you got there before the resellers.
Yes, also another thing, MSRP. One thing that Magic the Gathering did is they took away MSRP, which is a required, like, price, like, for certain things, like booster boxes, pre-made commander decks, stuff like that. And ever since then, like, card shops, I've heard of stories of card shops going to their local Walmarts, going to their local Targets, and buying out the stock, and then taking it back and reselling it for like 3x what it should be sold for. And now even stores like Target and stuff are catching wind of this, and so they're selling those products at the same prices you would get them at a TCG store, which really sucks, because I used to be able to rely on Target to, like, get those, like, things for, like, the actual price. But now, because of the greed of, like, TCG and LGS stores, like, we have the same issue. Like, Target's, like, you go to Target, find a pre-con commander deck, it's gonna be the same price as if you go to, like, your local LGS.
Actual retail for $20 at Target will be $40, $60, $80, $100 at private shops. Now, don't get me wrong, not every card shop or hobbyist is out there to exploit people. Far from it. Many of them are run by collectors who are in it for the love of the game.
Yeah, but enough is where it's happening. Too many scalpers in the market right now. Exactly. Yeah.
Big box stores. And in many cases,
there's always been scalpers, but, like, I feel like during COVID, the scalper market exploded, bro. Like, that would also be another good video, just, like, talking about the scalper market. Because, like, during the PS5 era and stuff like that, whenever it was, like, literally impossible for you to get a PS5 unless you bought it from a scalper for, like, $800 off a Facebook Marketplace, and you open the box and it's just a picture of the actual PS5 and not an actual PS5, you know what I mean?
They're just as passionate as the customers that they serve. But some shops, unfortunately, take advantage of the situation, knowing that invested buyers, many of which are children and young adults, will pay exorbitant amounts of money for something they could have just purchased at the store for $20. And to me, that's where the ethical concerns come in. Because you're not just selling cards, you're selling the chance to win something of value, or something that's emotionally significant. And for many people, particularly younger buyers, this has a chance to spiral pretty quickly. So it should be no surprise at all that big-time owners like Ken Golden have offered $150,000 cash just to
Cash is crazy.
Resell that one-of-one Olympic card for you.
Anybody who does a deal without talking to me first is going to be the biggest regret of your life.
I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo even offered $1 million to whoever finds that card.
Which is crazy, because if like resellers and hobby shops are, like, offering you like $200,000, right, for that card, you know they're gonna resell it for $1 million. So if, like, if what they're offering is so absorbent, like, it's so crazy, like, what they're gonna sell it for is even more insane.
He could be a freak on the court and on the shits, you know what I'm saying?
Like, the value of this thing is all over the place. So how do we really know what it's worth? Or at least worth to the market? Well, in my opinion, that's by talking to hobbyists, shop owners, people who are passionate about cards and familiar with this industry. So on September 14th, 2024, I tried to do exactly that by going to Twin Oaks Card Show in Portland, Oregon. It's Oregon's longest running monthly card and collectibles show with over 46 vendors. We're at Twin Oaks, where there's a lot of trading cards and a lot of vendors, over 45 vendors. And we're going to ask them some questions about these cards. And I had one goal, to ask the people there what got them into collecting, how much they've spent and how much they think that card's worth. But I ran into some issues. See, I'm kind of newer to YouTube, and I really hate the idea of just sticking a camera in people's faces.
Yeah.
So I wanted to set up times
That
to do
shit's so
interviews
awkward, to be honest.
afterwards, and not many people were willing. However, I talked to a bunch of people who eventually brought me to Jeff. It was agreed upon by everyone that I talked to that Jeff would be the most knowledgeable about this specific topic.
It's a love-hate relationship. That's a great piece for someone's collection and to enjoy and then pass along to the next person. But is that card worth $2 million, $1 million, $500,000? If I had, $500,000, I'm going to buy a lot more Jordan inserts, Kobe Bryant inserts, all sorts of real, actually, cool, collectible, sought-after cards.
Yeah.
Rather than some just because it's never been done before. That to me just is corny. Yeah, we have to sell things, but I always lean to the side of, the avid collector.
While I was setting up the interview with Jeff, I was talking to another person who he was talking to at the same time, who gave me a tip that 3rd overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, Scoot Henderson, would be at a local card shop that same afternoon. And not only that, but that event would be sponsored by Topps, an opportunity I could not pass up. So I called up Cody, who you might recognize from my previous video, and told him to get ready. Now listen, maybe I'm a little bit naive, but I thought it would go down like Scoot would come in, smile, wave, sign a few things, and then bounce. But boy, was I wrong. First off, that place was packed.
I believe
and on
it.
arrival, we were sardined into that shop. But after about 45 minutes of just hanging around there, because we showed up like 15 minutes early, everyone was escorted back out and told to form a line. And upon re-entry, we were each handed a little bag of cards with some raffle tickets and stickers. We were joking around how it's kind of similar like getting your first bump for free just so that you're incentivized to buy some boxes on the way out. And we really wanted to open these packs inside the store, so we fought our way to the only table with 2 open chairs, even though they were kind of mush against the wall. And at that table, with us, there are 6 total people. And it took them a little bit of time to get warmed up to us, but after they did, we started talking and having just good conversation. Like, honestly, I had a great time just opening up packs and talking to them. Like, I almost forgot why I was there in the first place. And I don't watch any baseball, but in one of the baseball card packs that they gave me in the big pouch, I actually pulled out a jersey insert, which I'll show you here.
Ours is MLB. Yeah. Whoa, I think I actually got something.
Oh, okay.
No.
I have no idea what that means, but okay. It's like people. It's like.
And that felt crazy.
That's probably how people feel whenever I open Magic cards around them. I'm like, oh my god, I got a foil. Blah blah blah. And they're like, that's cool, bro. I'm happy for you.
Kind of like when I have a new unopened jar of peanut butter on my kitchen counter.
All right, this man loves peanut butter. Maybe a little bit too much. Not the peanut butter sexy edit.
After about an hour, they began the raffles. And
Loki want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich now.
Luckiest table in the entire place because 3 of the 6 of us actually won prizes. I also learned a pretty valuable lesson in to not turn off the Osmo when I'm recording raffles. Dumb, because I'm making YouTube videos now. I'm missing all the good content. But after a while came the time for the final raffle. The one that they coined as the big wimp. 10 winners would get a special opportunity, and I still can't believe I turned off my camera because like that was the whole point. Especially because when they called the name of the 10th winner, it was Cody. We went crazy. Like we popped off literally screaming, which was kind of funny because everyone else whose name was called, I think maybe because they're more seasoned veterans of that whole situation, just kind of rose their hand and walked up to the front. But it kind of felt like we won our gold.
Yeah, it is popping off.
And this is when Scoot finally came out. Now again, I'm a big basketball fan, and because I live in Portland, I'm a big fan of Scoot. But beyond that, I've been a fan of his game since he was in high school. So being able to meet him would be pretty cool. But that's not...
Saying that you've been a fan of somebody's game since they've been in high school out of context is actually crazy.
Really what happened. So after Cody won the raffle, without explaining anything, I just handed him the Osmo, which I guess he didn't know how to use, but come on, you can do better than this, man. Like, look what he did.
Oh, no.
Eventually, I fought my way through the crowd to get a better view of what's happening, where Cody, along with 9 other winners, were awarded a brand new booster box by Topps that they had the chance to open with Scoot.
That's
in reality,
super cool.
It just looked like 10 people leaning against a counter looking at Scoot, who was opening 50 of these boxes. But there was a fun little twist where if anyone pulled a Scoot rookie card or if they pulled an autograph, the store would give them a gift card. Sadly though, only 3 of his cards were pulled that night and none of them by Cody. And when that concluded, Scoot got up and they said he would finally go around and start talking to people. But what that really looked like is just kind of going around the counter and going,
taking pictures and shit, yeah.
To everyone. Hey, for me, I was like, dang, this is my chance, and I'll only have him sign my card that I brought, but also just tell him how much I appreciate watching his basketball journey.
But what happened?
It went kind of bad.
Damn.
Oh, no, okay. You've been a big fan of yours since Carlton. I love your game, man.
So yeah, it didn't really go as I imagined. I was just kind of like, big fan of your game, man. But hey, I get it. I misunderstood how the event worked, and I understand for him it was just a quick paycheck to stop in there, sign some stuff, and head back.
Hell yeah,
I don't
bro.
blame him at all. I mean, it's not people's responsibility, especially if you're a celebrity athlete or YouTuber, to be the friend of someone who's a fan of you. It's not how it works. All in all, I had a great time at the event.
Hey, Blues are here, chat. Y'all all my friends. I love every single one of y'all in chat right now, bro. If you in chat right now, bro, you my friend, bro. You my friend, bro. Because I know there's probably only like 5 of y'all in here.
I had this realization that sure, maybe I went there to see Scoop, but there was a great sense of community and a lot of great people that I met and made some connections with over the hour, 2 hour, 3 hours. Because what I found was a passionate community of collectors and hobbyists who really deeply did care about what they did. And again, I had a great time, but it's hard to not remember the kind of crazier side of this hobby. Because at the table behind us, there was a guy who was talking about how just the night before at that same shop, he spent $12,000 on just 11 hobby boxes. Now,
that's crazy. 12,000?
He's clearly a little bit better.
Yo, give me 12,000, bro. I'm trying to buy a new car. Give me 12,000, bro.
Because $12,000, I don't care who you are, is a lot of money to dump in one day on your hobby. Speaking of which, brings me back to the degenerate gambling I planned on doing for this video. It's finally time for me to open the 10 cards I bought.
Let's go.
I just changed my life forever or wasted $98 critiquing something.
Okay, chat, listen, before we get into this last part, I just wanted to say something really off topic right now. So you guys know how I use the Let's Be a Millionaire audio sometimes on my soundboard whenever I'm in a suspenseful moment? I learned that last time whenever we were watching Paternity Court, that is actually copyrighted, so I can no longer use that on my soundboard.
Aww.
I know.
The time has finally come. As of recording this, it is September 11th, never forget it, exactly 1 month after I ordered my Topps cards, which hopefully contains a signature from LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. And yeah, I'm wearing a Cleveland Browns jersey. Bear with me. But hey, I did bring a certified Damian Lillard jersey. I'm going to strap over my shirt right now, so I'll be right back when this is on. Now that I look like a sports priest, I feel like I'm ready to
the sports priest is
open
crazy.
Up these cards. And I'm excited. I mean, you can see behind me, there's a lot of different cards from a lot of different companies. And maybe I didn't make it super clear so far in the video, but I might sort of fall into the group that might be a little bit sort of addicted to cards.
A little bit sort of addicted.
It's important to remember that even though I am about to pull the 1-of-1 card and change my life forever, the odds of me doing so are pretty low. And I could keep on yapping forever about the odds and the card and everything, but I think it's about time that we figure out if I actually win it or not. What if I did win it? Wouldn't that be crazy? Okay, without further ado.
Ooh, the dual camera angle is perfect.
Tape that was definitely hand placed. Oh god, I'm just ripping the... I feel paper. Is there anything else in here? There's nothing else in here. I think that's a bad sign for me. This is what we are rocking with. This is the packaging it comes in. Topps Now.
Yeah, because you guys think that if they did have that card in there, do you think that they would have had a congratulations message in there? I think they would have, but also maybe not, because that would also spoil the opening.
I wish I had a heart monitor right now. I'm actually kind of freaking out. Okay, I only see one box. I feel like that's a bad sign. I don't think they put it in with the other cards. I'm pretty sure there's a separate insert if you actually won. How do I... Oh, my hands are covered in dirt. So this is what the card looks like. I mean, it's a really good quality.
Kevin Durant, that's the third guy.
It's a cool little memorabilia card, but it's not worth $1 million and a flyout trip to whatever crazy guy is going to pay that amount of money. I don't see any signatures at all.
Oh, it's not looking good. Oh.
Or special edition limited prism counts I think we struck out and wasted about $90 on this. But
damn, it'd be like that.
How do you feel about your purchase?
I feel like I got scammed. So what did we really learn today? Well, for starters, this is an insanely expensive hobby. Because whether you're buying cards for fun, for nostalgia, or you're just chasing that high, the reality is the odds are...
Dude, I love this little Japanese, like, sign he has in the background, bro. Yo, we need to get to 100 subs so you guys can decorate my freaking background, bro. Like, I want to do so much with the background.
Never in your favor. Like, I
like how my paintings and stuff back there, but like, I don't know. I really want to spruce it up.
Trying to get this card, and here I am, the same dude who turned $98 into something that probably isn't even worth my next impulsive 20-pound order from Taco Bell. That's the thing. Damn, right? I do really want Taco Bell. It's not just about the cards. Is it a fun pastime? Absolutely. Like I said, I'm a collector myself. Because regardless of your intentions as a hobbyist, collector, investor, Hannibal Lecter, it doesn't matter. Whoa. There's still something deeper that's being tugged at psychologically. And companies like Panini and like Topps have the legal know-how to manipulate the psychology into ways that affect people that are similar to a lottery. Every unopened pack, every near miss is designed to keep us coming back for more, because next time might be the big hit. And that brings us to the bigger picture here. Yeah. This isn't just a niche problem of trading card collectors. It's a part of a much larger issue. It's about how mega corporations like Topps, Pokemon, or even YouTube creators like Mr. Beast, whether he knew it or not, are leveraging these psychological tactics to keep investors interested and engaged in ways that far too often resemble balancing a tightrope between entertainment and exploitation. And to me, it doesn't matter if it's legal. The sweepstakes loophole is a common one that many companies have figured out down to a science. Yeah. Like legally, they're in the clear because they know exactly what words to say and everything. Options. But realistically, how many people are going to send in handwritten letters just for a single entry?
Dude, I can't remember the last time I sent a letter, period.
In the closed tab, click the small hyperlink and find that you can enter for free. The whole system is set up for exorbitant spending because of course it is. It's the reason why you have people spending tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars on these boxes just to get the same feeling they would get from going to a casino. So what is the takeaway? Well, for one, just be aware of how your interactions with companies and other powerful bodies affect you. And like I said, I'm a collector myself, and it would be wildly hypocritical of me to completely condemn something while doing it myself. I mean, I don't think there's much intrinsically wrong with card collecting other than the plastic waste it produces. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's up to us to be mindful consumers. It's not just about cards. It's about knowing how much companies, news outlets, movies, media, YouTube shapes our behaviors and how much power we give them to influence our lives. So with that in mind, love what you love, enjoy your hobbies, but remember, while the cards are in your hands, the house always wins.
Damn.
Actually, if anyone finds that Olympic card, hit me up, because I'm trying to get in on that million Giannis was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for watching if you made it this far in the video. And if you were thinking to yourself, oh man, I really wish I could have had one of these limited edition special Olympic cards, well, you're in luck, because I am desperate to get my Instagram followers up. So if you want one of those, just follow me over on Instagram and DM me, and I will pick 9 winners. I'm trying to keep one for myself. And no, this isn't the lottery thing I was talking about the whole video. I wouldn't do that. I just finished talking about it. Oh, and special shout out to Giuseppe, who recognized me at Comic-Con. It's crazy to think that somebody recognized me in person from the videos I'm doing online. As always, I've linked a couple of charities and organizations that I support in the description that are just trying to make this world a little bit better of a place. Please remember to like, comment, and share the video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe and ring that bell if you haven't already. See you next time for our Halloween special. Topps, now it's the moment. That's so stupid.
Hell yeah, that was such a great video. I'm liking that shit right now, yo. Shouts out to Elijah Lemard. Another great video from this guy, man. Like I said, I don't think he has that many videos, but this guy's videos just hit every single time, bro. Every single time.